line and length. This is vital in the game of squash. Good length is usually creating pressure and extending your opponent into the back of the court. And we always talk about good length setting up the rallies, and it is pivotal in the game of squash, no doubt about it. Now, what's really important with line and length is the types of line and length that you can hit. Also, the weight of shot, which is massively important. So what I like to think about is the back of the service. There's a couple different lengths that you can hit, whether it's lifted, straight, tight length that you're just looking to squeeze on the wall, that attacking length, which is the back of the service box, which the second bounce is dying at the back wall, or that width that's going, to the back of the service box as well. That length, that line and length, okay, is pivotal for extending your opponent and making their tee position go back. So if you're hitting good line and length, right, if the natural tee position, let's say, is somewhere between on the tee, middle service box, and you're hitting good line and length, your opponent's naturally taking a step back. It's taking a step back, right? And what is that doing, right? Well, it's opening up more of the court for you. It's opening up more of the front of the court, right? But also while you're practicing it, you think, oh, well, my opponent's taking a step back. How am I going to beat him with good line and length? Well, it's simple. If you're hitting good targets, you're putting them under pressure, having them to make tough decisions in a really short, amount of time. So you're causing them to quicken up their racket. You're causing them to maybe make uncomfortable movements, right? If you're putting pressure or taking it in areas that they can't hit a very accurate replying shot off of, right? But again, one of the key points that I think about in good weight and a line and length as well is that if you're hitting the ball tight, you're limiting options. And if you're hitting the ball with good pace and it's fading into the back, you're making the court bigger because your opponent's taking a step back, which inevitably is opening up the front of the court. All right, so you're giving yourself options by that line and length, squeezing your opponent to the back and forcing pressure. While any length drill that you do on a daily or a weekly basis when you're practicing your squash game can include practicing your line and length. The next time you're playing, I really want you to think about the type of pressure that you're putting on your opponent and where he is in relation to you when you're playing these shots, and the consistency of when you're playing them, when you're playing your next match play situation, and really understanding how far back he is in the court. Because if he is far back and you're putting that pressure, you're opening up options for yourself in the front. So my hope for you to understand this concept is, if you're hitting good line and length, that you're constantly in front. You're looking to volley, you're looking to apply pressure to the back, but what you're doing is you're extending the court forward because you're putting more space between, you're putting yourself in between you, the opponent, and then the rest of the front court, and giving yourself options to attack, right? And so be aware of where he is or she is and making sure that you're understanding that what your line and length is doing, what kind of pressure that it's creating, and how it's allowing you to extend the front of the court.